So I'm going to do a quick rundown of the Mastermind Clues that I mentioned the last time to close out day phase. All right, so let me just go into the character keeper. And then, so I believe that we were closing out each of the scenes with a Mastermind Clue. And I think Lord Oda had ended up hearing like some unearthly singing coming from an unidentifiable source, like someplace that he couldn't identify. And then I think Mildred, as you had left the pier, you heard rumors, or you heard dock and pier people talking about this unfathomable violence perpetrated by a large man, an absolute unit of a man, not barrel staves, thank you, that because the poor fellow had stepped on his foot on the way out or in passing, he decided to punch him, reach into his, well, I mean, not to get too graphic, but basically turn him inside out and then stuff him in a barrel. And that is what they were talking about, like that day. And then Eligos, after you finished following the Pinkerton for a little bit, you also came upon a crowd of sorts, and they were at the mouth of an alley, and they were talking about what was found in the alley, which was a man decapitated, found with a donkey's head sewn onto his neck. All right, so in the order of all the fun stuff that I said, we are going to be entering Dusk Phase. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the tracker for the hunters. All right, so smoke. We're at that point yet again. Roll the quickening, please.
Yep. Give me a sec. What are my
With the-
conditions? I have none because I cleared them out and then I left.
Yes. Yeah, and so you're with composure or sensitivity.
Right, so a 0 or a 1. What nice options I have. Yeah, 9 total. I rolled an 8, so.
Okay, so on a 9, that's partial partial hit. So you are drained, I believe.
Yep.
Yep. And you can choose to use a mask for that if you want to raise it up, just to not have the condition. So that is up to you if you want to do that.
How many masks do I have left? 4 plus 1.
Let's take the condition. It's always more fun that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
go
I
ahead
think
and
I was just
roll with it. Sure. All right. So go ahead and throw drained in there. Alrighty.
Yep. Done.
We are going to go over Hargrave House, doing the basement yet again, and so this is pretty easy, which is it's a lot of fun, and you miss this smoke, so you can just create something out of whole cloth. The basement for Hargrave House. This space is cluttered with the belongings of long dead hunters who used to live in Hargrave House. What do you take from it? Add it to your personal quarters. So the rest of them had created something and then put it in their personal quarters. I give you this an option to redo if you want to change what you got. And then smoke, you would obviously just create something and then put it in your personal quarters. What do you take from the basement?
I will take a peculiar small silver box containing a seemingly unthawable frozen heart, roughly the size of a human heart.
I will take the recipe for a cursed 4 and 20 blackbird pie.
Truly blackbirds, or is that like a euphemism for, I think, blackberries?
Who's to say?
Who's to say? Gotcha. Who are you going to entertain with that? Who are you going to entertain with this massive pie? Don't smoke.
Maybe the Pope's coming to town.
Oh, God.
Can I take a... See, I'm tempted to take something smoke related, but I don't know if... Oh yeah, I will take a book, like a field guide, question mark? I don't know if that's the right kind of book, but a field guide to like porcupines and hedgehogs. No reason in
That would
particular.
be-
No reason at all. Sure. No, that's fine. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And I'll check in with Oda later when he comes on board. Alrighty. Okay. Plowing on. All right. Okay, so this is your opportunity to take a look at the clues for the current threats on the table to see if you have enough and if you want to answer a question in this particular phase. So, West End Wraith, I said that you are dealing with a question of complexity 4. If the Wraith seeks to harm, what motivates their obsessive pursuit of the target? Complexity 4. All right, so you have 5 clues on the docket. A script bearing an uncanny resemblance to the current situation. The lock of hair tied with ribbon wound round the hilt of a knife. A matte black porcelain mask depicting the face of either comedy or tragedy. A severed head of a patron used as a vase for a dozen red roses. And a stack of love letters tied in a bow. Okay? So you have those 5 clues to try to integrate into your resolution for this threat if you want. And then for Drowned Guardian of the Docks, that is a complexity 2. Okay. Is the entity a demon or a helpful guardian spirit? You actually have 4 clues on the board for that, so that's pretty cool. And then Pinkerton is, what unsavory scheme is Taggart pursuing while he is in London? Complexity 4. You currently only have 2 clues on that. But conceivably you could answer a question because you have half the clues of the complexity. All right, so yeah. What would you like to do with the answer a question?
Well, I think we can keep our theory for West End, unless anyone has any other ideas.
I mean, it's my theory. I like it.
Let's see.
Yeah, so what was the theory?
All right. So the theory I don't quite remember how we got exactly where we got, but it started out at least with the idea that whoever these people are that are harrowing Miss DeVere, I should really learn names. DeVere, I got it. Whoever these people are that have like these are running this opium den and killed her parents have also summoned this wraith by performing some kind of secret ritual on the premises of the theater, and that's what the lock of hair tied in a ribbon and probably the mask and probably the vase are all involved in, and that summoned the wraith, which is then it is then harassing Lady DeVere in order to get at something, maybe the play that tells the future. Who knows?
All right. I like the ritual idea for the lock of hair around the knife. I mean, that's very ritualistic. Yeah. And then the mask can definitely be involved in it. Severed head of a patron. I mean, like, yeah, that's kind of like with the roses.
Sacrifice.
Could be sacrifice of it. Sure. Okay. So I accept those 3. What do you want to? You just need one more clue just to meet the complexity. You don't necessarily have to.
How do we bring in the love letters?
Well,
letters or the...
I think we had talked about like the script being something that, because the Wraith was the ghost of a playwright who had been spurned by either the De Veres or just, just the spirit of a playwright in general, but because it's under the command of this shadow organization, these opium dealers who've got a vendetta against the DeVere family. I think that the script is a living script. It's something that the playwright spirit is continuing to write, sort of a document of his actions. And the stack of love letters were meant to be sort of a prop in this play that he's creating.
Oh, right.
Just a prop. Okay.
Or it could be that the love letters are like a legitimate artifact, and they are like what tells us the specific identity of the Wraith.
Ooh. Okay.
That could be cool too.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was letters that he. Oh, wait, maybe it's this then. Maybe the ghost knows Lily's mother and was infatuated with her.
Ooh.
And those love letters are in fact from him to her, but they were never sent because he died before he could deliver them to her. So it's sort of his, sort of sick way of tying in, his love for Lily's mother into this whole terrorizing of her daughter.
Okay.
Because
that could be. I mean, like a trans. Well, right. I mean, like it's like the love never dies. So like just the curtain, like the peripheral clue, and then it's like it's kind of like carried over through the family, but yeah. I mean, could
or
just
maybe Lily's mother rejected him, and he ended his life because of it, because obviously he wasn't well with the way that he was approaching Lily, and so it's a part of this sort of sick infatuation that he's decorating the curtains with "Love Will Never Die," and he's giving a vase made of a head to Lily as sort of like disgusting show of infatuation for the DeVere women.
Oh, so it's
and
the head of
he's a
someone
narcissist,
who like slighted the DeVeres or slighted him, or
I think it probably would have been someone maybe that was close to the DeVeres, to Lily. That way it'd be more effective in terrorizing her. And I think that like he's writing the script because he's naturally a narcissist. So even as a ghost, being able to document what's going on, he's still kind of driven by that narcissism.
Okay. It's like, what is that? Like not Mary Janing. What's that? Like you put yourself in
Mary Sue.
Self-inserting?
Well,
Yeah,
self-insert, but
self-inserted.
Mary
He's
Sue,
writing
Gary
self-insert
Stu.
fanfic for
Okay, got it.
He's doing an Aaron Sorkin. He's relitigating his past relationships via the medium of entertainment.
God.
Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. A completely insane television program.
All right. So that's 5 clues used for complexity 4 plus 1.
Ooh,
Eligos,
right.
do you want to roll on this?
Yeah, let me get some dice. That is a 10.
Nice. Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. 10. No complications there. We'll see how this goes. All right. What would you guys like to do for the night phase?
Did we want to try answering the first question to the Drowned Guardian?
You could do that too.
Or-
What would you like to do?
All right, let's
Again.
look at our evidence.
Yes. So we have the clues, and Eirinar added Smoke's created clue. Okay. So of several unconnected people with seaweed bracelets, rumors of a massive layoff at a shipping company, overheard snatches of an old sea shanty, the same melody sung in different languages, and a message sealed with purple wax in a bottle. It looks like a prayer or an incantation. Contextualize as you will.
Yeah, I think my initial thing, not just because I want some variety, but I think it's a helpful guardian spirit.
Yes.
The 2 clues that I'm pointing towards are the rumors of a massive layoff at a shipping company and the message in the purple wax sealed bottle. I think that's a very old prayer. Some might call it eldritch. they're praying to this old sort of sea entity, this god that's sort of or
The nameless,
spirit that's
deep, etc.
Yeah, exactly. That's sort of like been passed down as sort of folklore between sailors who have come to this area. And so when there were those massive layoffs, they realized that they had to reach out. And I think sort of like give us a little bit +1. I think the seaweed bracelets are sort of like rosary beads in that way. These are people who, they present themselves in the daytime as, good Catholics or Christians or what have you. But I think that secretly their roots are in this sea spirit.
Mysterious fish cult.
Yeah. Or crab. We don't know. We don't know if they're seaweed, if they're vertebrates.
I mean, you haven't quite figured that out yet. Sure. I like it.
But yeah, I think those are the 3 that I would use.
All right. So, would you like
Unless
to
anyone else has any other ideas?
No, I think that's good.
Excuse me. Yeah, so, Jack, go ahead and roll. +1.
Okie doke. Ew. Oh, that's a 5. +1, that's a 6. So here's a question I have for you though. Would it be possible if we could mark masks to raise it up if people want to? Because we also have a mask that's associated with this threat, if I'm not mistaken.
That is true.
Yeah, we've got
Mask
one
of the
left.
Depths.
So
I'm okay with it.
I'm fine keeping the mask that I marked that I don't know why I marked. But
Okay, that's fine. Yep. Okay. Cool.
I have a question. So this is a yes/no question, right? So a failure means we were wrong.
We were wrong, and we'd have to create a new theory.
Do we have to create a new theory, or is it the opposite thing already immediately?
No, I think it's the way I interpret it is. Madge, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I always thought it was like it's just the theory isn't correct. It doesn't mean like necessarily that it's the wrong, like that it's the opposite, but it just means that the theory that we're presenting doesn't make sense. But...
Yeah, I mean, like because I like you guys, and it's like I don't want to like have a headache over this. I'm gonna say that it's like you are incorrect. And what normally happens is like, you want to get other clues or like maybe one more clue than the complexity. But since you used up 3 clues, I'm kind of like, oh, I'd say that you want to do something else. Like you want to add at least another clue to what you've proposed and then make a different theory out of that. All right. Or you can all mark masks just to make it a lot easier. I'm not going to make you do that if you don't want to. I mean, it's perfectly fine.
I'm okay marking a mask or either way, but like I was just curious as to what the sort of ruling was on that.
Because honestly, I mean, like, you could conceivably say, you could have started off with, it's a demon because of all the 3 clues that you just used. So, could go either way. But I mean, like, if you want to keep it helpful guardian spirit and don't want to mark any masks, then yes, I would ask you to use the clue that's there and then use that up, and then put it together as differently.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, some people may make you go completely opposite. I mean, like, but I don't want to. I mean, like,
that's what, because that's a good point that Eirinar brings up, because I've always thought it was just like, it's just the wrong answer, but I never thought of it like, oh, you have to choose the other solution or the other answer.
I don't want to force you into that. I think, I mean, like, it could be, the one that you picked, but not for the right reasons,
Right. Yeah. Got it. Cool.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm down to keep my mask marked, and then if someone wants to mark the mask of the depths, if they've got, if they want to keep their other masks, I'm totally fine with them having it.
I'm good with marking masks and bumping it up.
Okay, cool. Let me pull. I didn't have it already pulled up. So somebody would need to take Mask of the Depths if you want to utilize that for this particular. I
I almost want to make Ben take it because he keeps pile driving through other masks that are his. So
Yeah,
but no, he's not
seriously.
here. I'm not going to force it on him.
Now
Right.
what is Mask of the Depths?
I'm going to tell
Okay.
you. I'm just going to pull this up.
I like how it's like ellipses and then dips.
Yeah, dips.
Girls.
Dips. All right, so what it is each hunter narrates a flashback to a time when they searched for hope alone in the dark.
Oh.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Oh, and just so you guys know, because I forgot to mention this before, if you look under the London tab, I added those 3 people that I kind of mentioned before but went unnamed, and the reasons where you saw them. So if you want to get a little look-see at the people I was talking about.
Oh, I like this little redheaded boy.
Yeah, he was the one that Lord Oda met in Greco's tent. And Eligos also got a view of him as well, briefly. And conceivably, like I said, you could conceivably try to answer the Pinkerton thing, but I mean, again, you only have half of the required complexity. So you could risk it for a biscuit and do it, or you can just like wait and get more clues.
Risk it all for a biscuit.
Listen, I love doing stupid shit in role-playing games, but I don't know. I feel like we just simply do not have enough.
Plus, I want to see.
fine.
I mean, as a wish, I want to see Smoke get to interact with that more because.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, but I was just mentioning that because, again, you do meet half the complexity, so it would have been fine if you wanted to do it, but you don't have to, okay? Mildred, you have that, your past that you're not sure, like, where that came from, so you're going to use that for the bumping up the question, okay? And then, Eligos, which one are you taking for the mask? Because if you guys want to use Mask of the Depths, you can, so somebody's got to take it, but then everybody does it.
I feel like every one of my masks is actually Masks of the Depths.
So do you want Smoke to take Mask of the Depths and then you do one of your
I'll
masks?
take it. Hang on.
I mean, everybody takes it, but I mean, you know what I mean. It's like...
I know. I'm thinking. Looking at my masks and thinking.
Because whoever doesn't mark...
Oh, I have two new old masks of the past.
Yeah. So you have masks to spare, essentially, as opposed to Smoke, who's used them. So, Smoke, I'm going to say that you picked Mask of the Depths. Eligos, you pick a past.
Sure.
A past
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to, for the past one, you'd have to start from the beginning again.
Again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
It's-
I don't know how that works.
Well, okay, so the way I think it works is the fact that because the factotum's the one who gets shit done, yeah? And then like when you mark the particular thing that allows you to uncheck them, that basically means it's like, you know, you're able to give more information about your past that we wouldn't normally see. Because you're, again, subsumed by your employer. So I think it's almost like a way of like, you know, reaching into your past and like, you know, coming up with new stuff that you allow other people to see. So that's why you're given like an extra extra chances, I think. Okay. That's why I think it's there.
I can't help but feel as though I'm playing the factotum completely wrong.
I don't think there's any real way to play.
Cool.
Okay, so let's settle this out right now. Who is doing what? Who is doing what? Because you guys flubbed the drowned guardian role for masks.
I'm taking my Mask of the Past.
Right. Okay, got that.
I'll take the Mask of the Drowned, or whatever it's called.
It's Depths. Yeah. Okay.
Of the Depths.
Yep.
Great. Cosmic Passage for me.
Okay, so Smoke is taking Cosmic Passage.
I'm just gonna manually change my
And then
thing
Eligos,
because
you
it
have a
didn't
past one that you're doing.
automatically.
Okay.
Sure do.
I think I got it. All right, got it. Cool. Now, night phase. What the hell we? Oh, wait. Before we do that, Ben, you have the option to keep what you added to your personal quarters from the basement, or you can change it at this point.
Since it's not recorded,
keep it.
therefore it doesn't
Okay.
exist.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Yeah, just want to make sure you were cool with it. Which is, what the hell did you get the last time? I forget.
It's a doll uncannily similar to Lord Oda with pins stuck in it.
Okay then. Nice.
Aww. Lord Oda had a fan.
Somebody loves you.
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
it was episode Let's Make Mad Suffer.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I
just
think
run
that's
with it.
every
It's
episode at
fine.
this point.
Yeah. It's fine. It's okay. All right. Now we get to what the hell do you guys want to do for night phase? Jesus.
Well, if we're redoing our masks from last time, my night phase will depend on where I end up after my masks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so
Also,
So if you want us to like re-narrate those quickly, I can re-narrate mine quickly so that I can let you know. But
yes, let's go ahead and do that so I can start checking things off the list. So is this your past one that you'd be doing?
no,
and
this
then
is the
Darkened
Mask of the
Threshold?
Sun, and then yeah.
Darkened Threshold. Okay.
Yeah. After the day at Cremore Gardens, Mildred came home and she needed to take a rest. It had been a taxing day, having dealt with the morning with her patron of sorts. And as she went to sleep, she started to slip into dream. And this dream, she saw land forming. It like bismuth crystal, just sort of geometric and iridescent. And these plates of bismuth just sort of materializing out of nothing and creating a surface on which this naked humanoid creature, this Mildred, with long flowing dark brown hair, stumbles and struggles to keep her footing on. And as she's traversing this ever-changing and ever-developing landscape, she sees at the base of one of these plains a beach leading out to a vast ocean. And out of that ocean comes this sort of strange creature, this almost like primordial aquatic being that begins to this like a fish person almost begins to step out of the ocean and slowly try to climb up onto the beach, but a darker shadow overcomes the beach, and Mildred recognizes it. Though it's unfamiliar in its fullness, it's large and covered in matted, oily black hair, this serpentine tail, these gigantic horns, and this smiling baboon face. It sneers up at Mildred before snatching the fish creature out of the water, tearing into it, biting into its head and gnawing at its flesh, and all the while continuing to look up at Mildred. And she is frightened in this moment, but paralyzed by fear. And she wakes up, and her face, her expression is determined and stoic, and she gets up off the bed in this very mechanical way and does herself up in a nice evening dress with a fascinator. Nothing too fancy, but enough for a respectable night on the town. And she calls herself a cab, or hails down a cab rather. And we, as the camera cut to the cab itself, letting her out, the cabbie steps down off his seat, opens the door for her, and we see that she is at Cremore Gardens again for the second time of the day. And as she walks down the pier, she ignores those who are At this time of day or night, rather, it's much more lively. And she ignores all that, though. She ignores all the attractions and celebratory things and all the treats that are being barked at or being sold to folks at the garden. And she steps down off the pier. She makes her way under it to the beach. And just as she had before, she takes the pin out of the fascinator that she has. This pin is topped with a pearl. She plunges it through her tongue and draws it back out and puts it into her fascinator again. The blood wells up in her mouth, but she swallows it back. And she speaks the words that call upon the creature that she met with earlier and that she has befriended. This silvery scaled creature comes out of the water and is excited to see Mildred again. We see on the creature's bag is the rose pendant, the English rose pendant pinned to it that that Mildred had given her earlier in the day as a gift. And the creature comes up to her and extends her arms as if to take her hands like she did before. And Mildred takes them into her own. And with a smile, she greets her. And the creature asks, It's a treat to see you again. Why have you come? And Mildred says, well, I have another gift for you. And Mildred very casually opens up her purse and draws from it a sort of curved crisp blade that she immediately and casually plunges into the gills of this creature. She draws it out, blood, this kind of thin bluish blood begins to ebb out of the wound in the neck, and the creature stumbles back, clinging its webbed fingers to its chest and to its neck, and stumbles, falling backwards onto the sand. And Mildred stands above her, just watching her. She's looking at her, dead in her kind of wide, black, lidless eyes, and this creature's terrified and pleading for life in this alien language. But Mildred says nothing and just watches as the creature begins to pass. And we, as an audience, and she, as an audience member, hear a deep voice. Now, wasn't that fun? Let this be a lesson to you, girl. And with that, whatever spell or trance that Mildred was under breaks, and Mildred clasps her mouth with her hands in terror as she sees the body, the lifeless body of the creature of Cremore Gardens standing at her feet or laying at her feet. She buckles, her knees fall, and she begins to foolishly try to add pressure to the wound in the gills, but it's too late. She knows it, and she continues to weep, and she sees the kind of silvery sheen on this creature's body start to dull, and she cries for it, and that's where we end. The Darkened Threshold, which is to narrate a scene in which a dark entity possesses you and forces you to harm an innocent.
Heartbroken again.
That
Who's
was the
next?
best possible version of that scene, and I will never forgive you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Masks, masks, masks.
You have sun, depth, and a past. If you want to go next, Eligos.
Oh, God, that's so many.
You don't have to do them all at once. Oh, and by the way, it's like, just in case I didn't mention it again before, you can nest masks or combine them together. So this way you don't have to do like 5. You just do maybe 2, and then you just include details for each, in whatever mask that you do. So.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to go next.
Still really at odds. I'm going to need a second. I'm sorry.
Sure. Whoever wants to go next. Smoke, you have Cosmic Passage, Sun, and Depths to do.
I don't think Cosmic Passage has anything, right?
Let me look.
It just says increase and reduce the thing. Doesn't give me a prompt.
Okay. Alrighty, so let me go ahead and cross that off. So you just have Sun and Depths.
Can you give me the prompts for each?
Yes. So for sun, that is... Why don't I... Oh, did I hide that one? Of course I did. Here we go.
Did you hide the
of
threat
Sun.
and the mask went with it?
Yeah. Each hunter narrates a dream they once had of primordial earth, back in the time across the ancient seas, back in the time when the spirits walked, when the sun was new, and the old gods held court. That's Mask of the Sun. And then Mask of the Depths is each hunter narrates a flashback to a time when they searched for hope, alone in the dark.
Search for hope alone in the dark.
If you guys are stymied a little bit, then, I mean, like, you know, you can always wait till dawn and then wait to do them then. Then I would just go on to, what the heck are you guys doing for night phase?
I think I'll do depths now and the other one in the dawn. Is that chill?
No problem. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Go for it.
So I think you see this this image of, like, it's nighttime-ish. It's kind of late, like you don't see much, and there isn't too much what's the word? There's not much definition in this sort of landscape, and there is just sort of, for a while, smoke just walking through what feels like kind of an endless desert. I mean, they have stuff like backpacks and whatnot, but they don't have much else. And they reach this little grove-like area, like a small, almost oasis kind of situation. And there is like, and because it's nighttime, smoke then proceeds to, like, kind of transform, and, like, it looks basically like they're kind of living in the wild for a little bit, just like almost like a wild animal, like just carrying their stuff around. And at night, they basically, in that little grove, hunt whatever squirrels or little rodents there are, and that's how they get their food. And like, there's almost this in their eyes, like this staunch refusal to, like, not do that, like to go back to civilization, because they're not sure what's going to happen, who they'll hurt, etc.
Eligos, did you want to go ahead and do the depths?
Sure, it's going to be short and sweet, but it's fairly simple. Eligos, noticing that Mildred has gone out without any sort of preparation, strikes out on his own with a lantern and various warding devices, and wanders the streets searching for her, and is not able to find her ultimately. Alone in the dark, forced to turn back as the lantern flickers out.
Oda, did you want to do any of yours right now?
I'll do depths.
Okay.
So we see a figure, a member of royalty, in probably the Heian period. And he is, like, bedecked in his long robes, that are azure and are sparkling, and he holds a lantern ahead of him, as workers push this large, thoroughly inscribed stone away from a cave entrance, and there's this white rope that shows that it is sacred grounds, and he walks into the cave, and it is dark inside, and he's holding this lantern out. It's a torch, really. And he keeps walking and walking further down. And in this darkness, it's almost like a consuming darkness, and he starts to hear voices as he goes further and further, almost impossibly, but a long way down, until he starts to hear a river down in the bowels of the earth. He's walking alone. The only creatures to accompany him are the bats and the rats and all the things that like to live in the dark. And he comes to this river, and it is almost aglow. And there's someone there. There's someone who has a rod that they hold, and you realize that it is an oar, actually. And this figure, this old man, says, "Do you have the payment to cross? Is it your time to cross?" And Lord Oda says no, but that he's looking for someone on the other side. And he says, "This is not for anyone. This is not for the living to cross, my dear. Go back." And Lord Oda attempts to hijack the boat and knocks the gentleman out of the way. Struggles on board, tears the oar from his hands, and tries to go into the river, but the boat does not move. It just stays unnaturally still in these flowing waters. And that was when he realized he can't truly pass on. And he looks up, and for a moment he almost sees the figure of the person whom he lost at the beginning, almost looking back toward him. And then it's gone in a flash. And he wakes up in the present day, and he weeps.
Anybody else? Okay, so what would you like to do for night phase?
I'd like to visit the man in the sun mask.
I'm gonna go meet the Pinkerton. It's about time, so might as well.
Okay. Mildred?
I want to know what Eligos is doing first.
Oh, I was going to do whatever you were doing. Well, one of us has to change.
Well, my plan was to, if you were going to go resolve the West End Wraith, Mildred would help you, but remotely.
We could do that. I am generally worried about the state of your accountants at the moment. I know you're strong, but you came back with blood on your hands again. I don't want to risk you again. Even remotely, especially remotely if I'm not there.
I don't think Mildred would say anything back. I think she's too beside herself, and she'll just go up to her room quietly.
Are we spending night phase sulking? Is that what we're doing?
She said she'd help you, but she's not going to the field right now. She's done enough damage.
I guess we're sulking because I would not accept her help. I don't think I could handle the Wraith without her.
Well, no, she said she'd help you, but she's going to do it
But
remotely.
yeah, no, but I don't want that. I don't want to be separated from you right now.
You
In
have no
case it
choice.
happens again. If this is an order, carry it out. Very well, my lady. Guess I'm dealing with the West End Wraith.
I will be assisting, but I will be doing so from my ritual chamber.
Okay. Tonight's Unscene will be a drink at the Four Magpies. So let's see. That is on line 41. I believe it is the last one on that line. Let me scroll down to it myself. Yep. Okay. So, the Four Magpies is a pub popular with working-class gay men, run by the butch landlady Polly O'Donnell. While it seems like any other cramped, rowdy, spit and sawdust pub, it is an oasis of relative safety in a dangerous city. Polly does what she can to protect her boys. There are a few small rooms available upstairs, and some of the lads make a bit of extra coin entertaining the wealthier guests. All right, so paintish scene will be for everyone. Number 2, let's see. Let's go ahead and put that in for Ben. A well-dressed, 3 is going to be Eirinar. And 4 will be Jack. Okay. Yeah. So, Smoke, you got the Pinkerton's card. You've got Winslow Taggart's card. And on it, it has the name of the hotel, the Langham, and it has his room number. Okay. Do you go directly confront him at the Langham, or do you do any kind of like investigation or surreptitious something or other first?
I really don't think Smoke is going to do subtlety, so I think they're just gonna go meet him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna do like this quick, like where everybody else is going, like business, because it's like I totally forgot I should have started with the Unseen first. So, little interlude. All right. So, Lord Oda, I think. How are you dressed to go see this man in the sun mask? You're muted.
That's a great question. I think that Lord Oda has taken a lot of Mildred's flowers, and off screen was cutting them in the garden, and has woven them into like a beautiful, glittering cloak, and he has a mask of flowers, and butterflies.
Live butterflies, or?
I think most of them are alive.
Okay. All right. And then, Mildred, you are readying things in your ritual room? What does that look like?
Well, I mean, here's a question. Would I have noticed my garden has been ravaged?
I think you would have, because, I mean, to make the cloak and the mask, I mean, it would have been, like, pretty much...
I mean, it wasn't my hands, it was my, my people who did that.
Yeah,
for me.
blame your flunkies. Yeah, we get it. Okay. But, yeah, you notice.
Would you be trying to steer clear of Mildred, or would you be flaunting this?
Oh, flaunting it, of course.
All right.
And I would say something like, Mildred, you smell like fit. You smell completely like fish. Go take a shower. Bathe.
So Ben, narratively, if this is okay,
Yeah.
And this wouldn't have any like mechanical
Yeah, it's fine.
things, but I think as soon as you say that and she already smells her flowers, and she's come into the house very confused because I don't imagine like the gardens are in the front. But she comes in and she smells her flowers and it's very confused because she hasn't brought any in. And I think when she sees you and you say that, and she's clearly in some kind of duress, she looks at you, and again, if this is okay with everybody, you would feel yourself get flung across the room telekinetically.
Yeah.
And pinned against the wall, she would just hiss, "You will replant my flowers tomorrow, or I will tear out your tongue and feed it to the fishes in the Thames. Is that understood?"
Mildred, I did this for you. You needed a new garden. It was positively ugly.
I think she lets you down and just kind of, not gracefully, but because I imagine Lord Oda is graceful, he's able to shimmy himself down the wall. But she just gives you the most cutting, derogatory look and turns and just begins to march upstairs.
All prickles, but no bite.
Eligos, how are you heading over to the West End? Are you walking?
I'd
Or
say
are you
armed to the teeth, but that's. Now I'm walking.
okay?
Couldn't
Right.
risk hiring a cab since I know who's working these late nights.
Got it. Okay, fair enough. All right, we're gonna go over to the Unscene. First prompt: paint the scene. Each of you, describe a moment we see of men sharing a moment of intimacy that would be unwise to do elsewhere. And again, remember how this Unseen works, okay? You are trying to sensually, thematically try to, connect the Unscenes to something that happens to the hunters across town, having nothing to do with the actual hunters' scenes at all, okay? So, you may want to do yourselves a favor and write it in.
Yeah, I think we see two young men in the back of the bar, tucked away in a darker corner. There are other male patrons around smoking and laughing and drinking, but these two are very passionately making out. One of them is pinned against the wall, and the other one, kind of like this ginger mustache and a nicely tailored coat, is sort of necking him as the one pinned against the wall is just laughing.
I think there's this other couple which is sort of sitting a little more sprawled across, like not like the center of the room, but is still more open, this thing. And in front of them is this like beautiful sort of vase, almost like a bowl. It's so large, of flowers, and like there seem to be even some like butterflies on it, and one of them just picks up like this flower and puts it behind the other's ear and just smiles, like sort of caresses his face as he does so.
We see, sort of away from the bar, they have two men have set up a nearly a full wardrobe of makeup and like just various powders and things, and one of them is very, very tenderly applying blush and lipstick and eyeshadow to another.
We see a gentleman at a card table, and he's dressed in finery that is far above the rest in here. And he has a mask on his face to conceal his identity. It is a mask of a sun. And he's playing cards with the other gentleman. And he wins in a shocking manner. And a man beside him slams the table and stands up. And he's about to threaten violence, but the man in the mask says, "You're all pickles, but no bite, my dear. Now give over the cash." And there's a moment of tension before the young man smiles and hands over the cash, and they go into the back.
Okay. Smoke, when you go up to the room, do you bang on the door? Do you kick it open? What do you do? I think when you pass into these very new and lavish hallways of the Langham, I think that any servants that pass you by and see the look on your face is pretty much turning away and hurrying down the hall in the opposite direction.
I think
So-
if anyone like turns and looks at me, I am going to just look at them and sort of just drill, like you know, Smokes who dressed in these sort of not very formal, not necessarily very clean. Like they're not filthy, they're just not, you know, the cleanest things out there. Clothing is gonna be like, what are you looking at? Like just sort of already pissed off to begin with. And I'm gonna go up to the door, and actually I'm gonna try to listen in, see if there's anything I can, like if I hear any sounds, or any obvious ones.
You don't, actually. You don't hear anything. What do you do?
Not even like snoring or anything like that. Was sort of what I was trying to figure out if this man was asleep. But I will just not bang on the door, but like loud, continuous knocks for a bit, like until the door is open. Just yeah, or until someone yells.
I think... Make me an investigation move. This one with vitality.
Okay, what is my vitality? I think it's a 1.
Information move, sorry.
Yeah, got it. 4, 4. Nope, that's a 4, 1, 1. So that's a 6. That's a fail.
Okay. Let me write that down. Get back to you in a minute. All right, Oda. You make your way in your resplendent flower cloak and mask, and the butterflies kind of like floating on and off this mask as you go into Limehouse at night. I think people are shocked. This is almost too happy for them. As you have like petals of flowers coming off of your cloak, and then just this brightness to you that belies any of the somewhat despair and darkness that's experienced here in Limehouse. But you make your way to the opium den, and actually most of them are very deep into their pipes right now. So the groups, and then maybe some of the duets, they're in their respective corners or bunk bed shadowed recesses, and I mean the smoke is rife here, so you're getting a contact high no matter what. And then Jenny Johnson will kind of, come up to you very deferentially and say, "Oh, how may I help you? I mean, we have all kinds here, but you are most certainly the most decorative, to say the least. It's so
she's
beautiful."
she's part of my cult. And
Are you using Giveth?
yeah, of course.
Okay. How does that work?
Let me go say it aloud. I have to go
Please.
mark my reflection and describe how it changes.
Yep.
Give me a moment. At any time, you can declare a side character as secretly one of your worshippers. Describe how the side character subtly or not so subtly debases themselves before you in the scene. Then your scary reflection. And whenever you make a gift of something to from your personal quarters to a worshipper, they will do exactly as you say, no questions asked, up to and including destroying themselves. Yeah.
Okay, so scar your reflection, and then
if you demand information from them, they will come in the form of a clue at the keeper's discretion.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, are you going to describe how the garden changes, and are you describing how she, debases herself a little bit or whatever?
Yeah, and so the way she debases herself is, she has never quite seen me in person, I believe. And in the smoke, in this dingy place, I am the most radiant and positive thing that she's ever seen in her life. I am like the sun. And when she sees me, she almost cowers in the feeling of light that she gets. And I think that what she does, she will just weep, and she will say, "Oh my Lord, how you're like an entity from the beginning of the world. You are gorgeous," and she will fall onto her knees and begin to weep. And I will gently kick her away from my shoe where she's soiling it with her tears. And I say, "Girl, get yourself together. You're more than this. You could be great, my dear. You have an establishment of your own. I would ask a favor of you if you would do one for me." And I toss her an apple from the garden, and I say, "My dear, I need you to do some gardening for me tomorrow. Would you plant this in my backyard? It would be so kind of you. And apologize for me to the mistress of Hargrave House. She seems to be having quite a terrible time. If you could show her some comfort, I would be appreciative. See to her needs."
How does the garden change?
Yeah, I think the garden, there are these apple trees that had been planted years ago that just rot on their stalks all around their garden. The water's red, the bridge is crumbling. The looking pool is fractured, and the water is murky and dark. The queen doesn't come to visit anymore.
All right. Mildred, I think you are getting ready to go and prep your ritual room Now, are you still under the control of your entity, or did it
Nope.
release you and like it's letting you wallow into your?
Yeah, it's
In the
just wanted to
grief.
cruelly, make me do that, and it's gone. Yeah.
Okay. Is it back in your room, or is it wherever it's floating?
It's probably back in the room.
Okay. The reason I ask is because at the point where you're getting ready to get yourself together and get yourself into your ritual room, you hear ding, 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 ding from the front door.
She tilts her head down. Sorry. She tilts her head down and closes her eyes and sighs. Not tonight. And she'll go to her bedroom window. Actually, she'll just probably step out and then go to like the window that's overlooking the front courtyard and just peel back the curtain enough to see if she can see who's down there.
You can see a hatted figure. Top hat in hand, or yeah, actually like a top hat still on their head. It's like a bespoke gray silk suit, from what you can tell from the bedroom window.
She'll pull the curtain back to its place, and then take another deep sigh. And she will try to gather herself as best she can, and she will make her way downstairs and begrudgingly open the door. Yes, how may I help you?
The gentle, beautiful eyes of Kemuel will greet you at the door. He is looking as you would look if you would let yourself feel all of what you're feeling. And he says, I heard your need. I can't explain fully how I do or what I know, but I could feel your grief, your sorrow, and I feel it too. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mildred. I'm sorry, I took a liberty.
If you have come to give me condolences, I appreciate it, but this is not the hour for them. I have work to do.
And I can help you with that work if you let me. This grief will only feed upon itself if you let it. I am here to help you channel that grief, use that sorrow towards your work.
This is not my first time. This is not the first time I've felt sadness. It won't be the last.
But you don't have to feel it alone. Let me help you. I want to.
She hesitates, standing in the doorway, looking at him, up at his eyes. And she takes a moment to consider his words. And then I think with her hand on the door, she sees that there's still some of that blue blood on it. She draws it back and says, you can't help me, but I appreciate it. I would invite you back again tomorrow for tea if you would like.
I understand. But just know, I will wait here as long as I am needed this evening to be here for you, regardless of whether I am invited into Hargrave or not. Allow yourself to accept the help when it is offered. Believe me, that grief will grow so large, to the point where you will need the help. Any help. And I'd rather be here to siphon it off while it is still under control. I know. Believe me, I know.
She looks down at her boots and at his and looks back up. Tomorrow, we can talk, and you can tell me about how you relate and how you understand and how you sympathize. For now, I have work to do.
He nods.
Good evening to you. And she'll softly shut the door on him.
Mm-hmm.
And when she shuts it, she just sort of presses her forehead into her fingers and just like takes a couple deep breaths.
I don't think I don't think you see it, but I think you sense it. I think you sense him doing the same thing on the other side of the door.
Yeah, she'll let that feeling linger, but I think she's too willful. I mean, Eligos knows she always wants to do everything herself. So I think, yeah, she takes those deep breaths and then she will go back up to her room. And when she does, she will throw open the doors of her wardrobe, and beyond the racks of dresses and blouses and other garments, she will push through them and step into her chamber.
I think as you're going upstairs and doing this, I think you do sense that Kemuel is not too far away. He has not left the grounds of Hargrave House, so he is still on watch and standby. Eligos, make it to the theater. There is a performance going on tonight. It seems to be a rather excited one. There are people at the tables, there are people in the seats, there are people in the private boxes. Lily does not come and greet you, but you are actually shown to that private box that you were in with Lady Sojourn the other night. And you find that there is no one there in the private box overlooking this show that everybody's enthusiastically responding to. But you do see, in kind of near the edge of the box, you see that burgundy-cloaked woman that was there before. And she hears the door opening, and she turns to you, and she says, "Ah, the servant, am I not correct? Yes? Eligos? Yes?
Yes.
She pats the seat next to her. You remind me of someone I know, of someone I remember, from so long ago.
If we could spare the pleasantries, madam, I have business to take care of rather urgently here tonight.
Oh, yes. If you come here, look. You don't even have to sit down. Let me show you. So what she does is she will point, like as everybody's reacting to whatever is happening on stage. You'll see, and she points up to the gods. You see some shadowy figures up there. You might recognize in your observances, one looks like the bulky figure of like Turing, and then another one looks like the somewhat slender figure of Evelyn. kind of see like the gleam of his strange embroidered suit from the stage lights below. And looks like he's doing something because there are glowing coming from his hands, and they seem to be engaged with something that is up there in the gods. Would you like a better seat? Come here, like next to me.
It's all the same to you, ma'am. If this is being handled by your people, I don't see why I should be retained.
Don't think of it as being retained. Think of it as enjoying the show. You enjoy shows, don't you? Showing the shows of the theater, and she spreads her arms out. The shows of nature, the show that is in the past, in the present, and the future.
I thought I just asked to dispense with the pleasantries, ma'am. If you want something from me, say it outright, or I shall be going.
Is this how you greet? Well, I guess I am no longer your queen. My good Robin, don't you recognize me?
Of course. Unfortunately, I've no time for your games.
There were games in the past. Oh, I forgot. You more served my dear Oberon more than you served me, didn't you?
That is a trick, and you know it.
No trick.
Do you think I've forgotten the way that you are? If you will not let me out, then I shall find my way myself. It will be quite loud, quite messy. It will be very inconvenient for you.
Always so impulsive. Are you going to pull another prank on another human? I have one such as you. I have called him by your name. Do you mind?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it brings you such pleasure to have dreamed my twisted mirror and called him my replacement. Given him little friends.
I have not dreamed much in the last few years.
I will ask you again, plainly, what do you want? Dare I name thee?
You've always dared, and this is where she smiles. You've always dared, my darling one. Dare again.
So shall it be. I name thee Queen of I name thee Sovereign of the Winter Court. I say, get thee gone, Titania.
If only I could. If only I could, my good fellow. And we cut over back to smoke over at the Langham. Or actually, let's go to the Unscene first. Back at the Unscene, Ben. Curtis Jackson is a young barrow boy who has heard rumors of the Four Magpies, but never visited before. How do we see him make his first nervous steps inside? And how is he drawn in?
Yeah, I think he is greeted at the door by I wish I could find the tab, by the butch landlady. What's her name? Penny? Polly? And she greets him with a smile and says, "Oh, my boy, you're such a beautiful lad. Are you sure you you want to be in a place like this? It's a little roughhousey around here. And he says, but it's my first time. And she says, you never been to an establishment like this? And she takes him by the hands, both hands, and says, well, you are welcome, my son. And, if you want, I'll give you a first drink free. And he smiles and looks around and he makes his way in. And there's this haze in the place. It is a lot. He hasn't been around such a deep layer of smoking before, and it is a kind of dingy place. But he sees that he's amongst fellow company, and he's happy.
All right. Smoke, no one is answering your, insistent knocking at the door until somebody from maybe a couple doors down comes out and says, "What's all this racket?" And he's got a huge stogie in his hand. He's already ringed with smoke as he's coming out of his room. "What's this all about, young fella?"
Smoke is going to turn to him and just say, just not even say anything, just kind of glower at him, just stare him down. Like the expression on their face is more of like, I have enough to deal with, what are you now? Like, that's the sort of, I'm not gonna say anything, just stare at him for a bit.
Fine. It's actually a lot quieter than than listening to that American just talking so much next door, or even just a couple doors down. Hear meetings all the time. Ugh. I'm one to talk. I sound like him. Ugh. But you go about your business. Fine. Then he'll start to go into his room.
Yeah, I don't think Smoke is going to approach him.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to see if I can push the door open, like bust the door open or something.
Okay. I'm going to say this is a night move. What do you think is going to happen? Or what do you think could go wrong?
I mean, I'm scared I'm going out, and it's not going to be this guy who comes for me next. Be the hotel people or something, and they'll kick me out, and this will the entire endeavor will be useless. So yeah.
Is this where I say it's like so much worse?
Yeah.
Great. So I think the way it's so much worse is that when you bust in, it's like, he was deliberately lying in wait for you, and you're going to have your head blown off by a shotgun. Or by the 1848 Baby Dragoon. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm assuming you're using vitality for this.
Yeah, it's a +1 question mark. Yeah, +1.
Okay.
That's fun. I rolled snake eyes. I'm going to bump that up. No reason. I'm gonna bump that up to. I rolled 3 total, by the way. Going to bump that up to with the Mask of the Past. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, so that is a 7 to 9. Yeah, it's a partial. All right, let me just take a look at this, see, because I always forget. Okay, 7 to 9. You do it or hold steady, but a complication or cost. Let's see. It's noisy, and basically now you not only have some of the other doors besides the fellow down the hall a little bit, opening their doors to find out what the hell happened, but then you also have some servants, some maids or whatever, scurrying downstairs, and it's like they're gonna tell the manager fairly soon that somebody's broken into one of the rooms. Yeah, so You can go into the room, but everybody knows, every nearby knows about it.
That's fun. I'm just gonna walk in, see if there's someone inside. Like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Taggart's like, in I'm going to say that this is like so fancy of a hotel that they have bathrooms, like, indoor plumbing and shit,
Right.
in every room, like, not just down the hall. So, yeah, I mean, like, he was in his bathroom, like, shaving or whatever. And you immediately get a whiff of a smell. Taggart's room. Everybody. Tall windows that let in a lot of light. In this case, like, it's nighttime. Palm leaf motifs, plush rugs underfoot. Paint the scene. Taggart won't allow any cleaning staff in his room. Looking around, how do you know this?
Oh, I'll go first if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a veritable. It's starting to look like a mound, but it's a pile of what is effectively like food wrappers, like basically quote unquote room service wrappers, just forming in a small corner of the room.
Stack of plates and like napkins and all that other junk. Yep. Okay. What else?
I think we see on a nearby, and just kind of sort of plain as day out, we see erotic postcards, but they're of other men.
What was the prompt? I'm sorry.
Taggart won't allow any cleaning staff in his room. Looking around, how do you know this?
I think there is like a literal pile of ash built, like, coming up from the carpet next to a large armchair.
No, not a fire hazard at all. Great. Okay. Ben?
The carpets are made with asbestos. It's fine.
Well, I was thinking that there might be a naked man amongst the covers with like little fake fairy wings, like as an outfit, and he's completely naked, waiting for Taggart to come back, grinning patiently.
Nice. Okay. So that's what you find when you enter the room. He was not going to answer the door because he was a little busy, or he was getting ready to be busy. So, yes, you see the man in the bed. Yep. And Taggart comes out of the bathroom. What in Oh. Smoke, I presume. And he just kind of like, he's in his undershirt, not wearing any trousers, like in his, I don't know what the underwear looks like in this time period, but yeah, he's in it, and quite saggy looking, and yeah, he's kind of like half shaven because he's got like some, like, I don't know, foam or cream or whatever the hell, like, he's using with the straight razor in his hand, so. What can I do you for? I mean, usually people wait until the daytime to come and call, but, I mean, you want to get a little in on this? And he's waving towards the bed.
I'm going to stare at him with the same, if not a worse, glower and just say, "You came calling for me, I heard."
Yeah. Your parents have missed you. So much so that they put a bounty on you. And I'd be here to collect the bounty.
How nice of my parents to do that.
Isn't it, though? Isn't it?
Well,
You must be pretty valuable, because it's pretty hefty.
yeah, well, you can tell my parents that they can keep their bounty and you can be on your way back home. But this comes out almost as like a half growl, like just very pissed off, like you're not getting this.
Oh, if it were only that easy. He kind of closes up the straight razor and like wipes his face of the rest of the cream and kind of looks, with a smirk at the bed. It's like, I'll be with you in a minute. And let's go over here. I mean, it's not even very private. I mean, like it's just an open room, maybe like a couple chairs in the corner, which is where he's directing you if you want to sit down. Again, happy to do business with you in the daytime. Nighttime's for lovers.
Question: did we close the door? Like I'm gonna say I if I didn't close the door, I'm going to close it.
Okay.
Just the hotel door.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm going to not sit on this thing, and I'm going to like sort of lean back against the door and just cross my arms, and I'm going to take out my gun and I'm going to start like twirling it just because I can. And I think I'm going to like at this point also like from my hood, just from my hood, like the hood, like a kind of like this cloak hood, like you see mirror just kind of like popping out a little.
Nice. All right. And what be that? Haven't seen one of those since I was at home. Goodness. You brought one all the way over, huh? Okay. We really want to like engage with guns right now. I mean,
I don't
you can
want
have
to
some
engage
fun if
with you
want.
at all.
Then why did you bring out your gun? I can
Well,
just as easily bring out mine.
I'm going to say you wouldn't be fast enough, but you're welcome to try if you wish to. But we're in a hotel. There's, people around. This is just a
Indeed.
precaution.
And just to remind you, I come from an agency. If I don't come back with you, then most likely the agency's going to be sending somebody else. So you're not going to be left alone, just so you know. Now, you sure you want to stay for a spell and have a little fun?
Smoke's going to shrug and like to the are you sure you're not going to be safe bit, and when he asks you to stay for a spell, he's just gonna like again glower at him. I'm also going to take this opportunity to look around the room, actually see if I can find anything useful. Just sort of glance.
I'm going to say composure on this one, so you're going to do
Okay.
information move on with composure. See what your roll
Which is a
is.
0, I think. Yep. Oof, that is a 7.
Okay. I'm going to deal with that in a second. Okay. Oda, you are at the opium den, and Jenny Johnston has kneeled and is crying, and you have kicked her away a little bit. Do you survey? Do you ask, besides asking her to I guess replant like Mildred's garden? I mean, do you ask her to take you over to where the man in the sun mask is, or?
Yeah, I imagine she has, and we make our way there.
Yep. He's there. He's wearing his essentially golden, gilded, embroidered pajamas, soft slippers, and the whole and he is still wearing his sun mask. as ornate and shiny and gleaming as it was. No change. He's sitting there smoking, and you can see that he is able to make perfect rings that form concentric circles in the air in front of him.
I ask, may I join?
Absolutely. How are you, little nephew?
It's, he stretches his arms. These mortals are so tiresome. Just this morning I was threatened. Can you imagine?
You underestimate them. You started off as immortal yourself. You just happen to be able to live for a very, very, very long time.
I have come with a request, but
Oh?
let me partake first. How do you do this?
He will gently and very deliberately show you how to hold the pipe, how to take a puff, and that mask, the inscrutable face over the mouth and the deep eye sockets that you cannot see within, like, watch you and nod if you are doing it correctly.
I have always, as you probably know, I have longed for that as long as I've walked this planet. And I imagine if I took off your mask, I might meet an end of sorts, but it might not be the end that I want. I want to know, how could I meet the lover who was taken from me? And if that is dealing with this, there's some Fae activities about, and there's a certain queen of sorts, I believe, who's watching me. Is she an avenue I might take to meeting the end that I wanted?
To quote one so great, with words, you are given a lifetime, just like everyone else. It begins when it begins. It ends when it ends. Do you really want to know, nephew?
Of course I do. Just tell me. And I think he's my, I think he's my, he's in my cult.
No.
And I'm going to use the Giveth to make him one of my cult.
Interesting. Sure. Scar your reflection. Tell me how the garden changes. And how does he debase himself?
Yeah, I think so. Here's what I imagine would happen. I think I would say, he debases himself by, I would close my eyes and he would take off his mask and pass it to me. And I would give something from my collection to him to cover his face in kind. And I would mark the I would take out John Wilkes Booth's funeral shroud and would pass it to the man in the sun mask. But that would make me mark my reflection twice, so I'll do that. Another time, I mean.
Where was this? I'm sorry. Like, where's
John
this
Wilkes
item?
Booth. I can at any time I can add an item from my collection to my personal quarters.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm going to do that,
Okay.
and I'm going to take sun mask. And so how the garden changes is that all the statues.
I'm going to say this is serious cost to this
Yeah,
for taking the sun mask.
yeah, and the all the statues in the garden are covered in shrouds, and as they've shuttered this garden to the public, and no light comes in from the sun during the day. It is as if it is always in sepia tones, and all the trees wilt because they're not getting enough energy from the sky. All the grass turns brown. And it is the way the funeral shroud expresses itself is they're starting to bulldoze this area, or to destroy the garden itself, and planting, well, so to speak, a cemetery here in its stead. But the central pool is still here, blood red. Yeah. And I ask the man in the sun mask, tell me how I can die with my heart at ease, having met my lover. Tell me now. This is a gift to you. Daddy. And I give him the shroud. Now cover your face before I see that wretched look you have.
Do you care which present? Do you care which threat the clue comes from towards your?
I'd say the drowned guardian of the dogs.
Okay. You'll like this one. So I think what he does, as he pulls the shroud over his face, and then with trembling fingers, he will smoke. He will take of the pipe. He will breathe in, and then with a long, slow drag out, you see a picture forming in front of your face. And you can put this clue inside Drowned Guardian, but you can also add it to your list of clues for your move. It looks like a scrapbook containing pages of prayers from different faiths. That is your clue, as well as for Drowned Guardian.
Thank you.
That's Oda. Mildred, what do you do in your ritual room to get ready to help from afar?
So yeah, so there is something here. Let's say paint the scene for everybody else. So she bursts into a room, and when she does, the paint the scene is What do we see in this chamber that tells us vile, macabre rites have been performed here?
I think obscene symbols are burned into the floor with herbs and blood.
I think that there are
No, go ahead, Ben.
okay. I think that Mildred took action against the gardeners that Lord Oda had sent, and there's lots of thumbs in a bowl next to like the ritual circle, and they are painted green.
The various candles around the room are made of a thick yellow fat that smells rancid. They're very clearly homemade, although it's impossible to say homemade from what.
I think the ceiling has these like, you're not sure if they're paintings or what they are, of all these like gruesome figures that just look like they've kind of been stamped on there, just painted, deformed bodies and all that kind of thing.
So like a Hieronymus Bosch kind of thing?
Yeah.
Cool. I wanna hang out in this room. But no, Mildred will barrel in, and she's been muttering to herself, fighting back tears the whole time, just kind of going as she's collecting some of these fatty candles. She's collecting other herbs and dried flowers. These ones are darker though, and they're all some kind of poisonous make. But she's been muttering to herself, you may have taught me cruelty and ownership, but it was the sisters who taught me the arts. And she begins to disrobe entirely, and she pulls out this very thick grimoire and thumbs through some pages and sets it on the floor in front of her. And sitting there, she lights all the different fatty candles. And she tries to like steady her breath and compose herself, because she knows that the spell can be dangerous if she doesn't. But we see hanging from the ceiling these series of wrought iron bells. Each of them are carved with some kind of arcane symbol, similar to the ones that have been grounded to the floor with herbs and blood. But there's like a little iron mallet that she has, and her ritual knife, the same ritual knife that she had used earlier in the night, still has little flecks of blue blood on it. She takes it up and jams it into her palm, and then takes the little round iron mallet and coats the surface of it in her own blood. And she begins to chant as she bangs on the wrought iron bells. And I'm going to do this to use my rite of salt and smoke to so I want to do, and you can tell me if this is kind of out of the bounds, but so the goal is to trap a specific creature, but what I wanted to do was to essentially materialize the West End Wraith so that it's physical and can be killed like a mortal person.
I think
I
you're
essentially
gonna
want to
be...
like trap it in flesh.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're going to be able to do that. But I'm going to say... No, just go ahead and do it. Let's see what your roll is for Rite of Salt and Smoke.
All right, and I'm marking my wrought iron bells used for warding of spirits to give myself advantage.
Perfect. Go ahead. 3 die, 2 highest, plus sensitivity.
That's a 2, 2, and a 1.
Wait,
With
hold
advantage.
on a second. So, if we're going to
So
take
I'm
it
gonna
like
mark-
that, okay.
No, I'm going to
I'm
mark
just saying.
that.
Oh, okay, all right.
But if you have a other thing you want to do, please feel free. I'm just going to go ahead and mark this mask.
Okay, so 7 to 9 magic works imperfectly. Oh boy. From a miss. Okay, yeah. You do this. But I'm gonna say this is affecting you more than expected. And it almost flubs. And you're going to see the complication when we come back to you. Eligos.
Wait, I'm just a little confused about the maths. I'm so sorry. But if they rolled a 2, 2, and a 2 and a 2, and then have, what is your sensitivity? Isn't it like a 3?
Oh, wait. You're right. I
Yeah,
totally
what are
forgot I
you- wait,
had a...
oh, okay.
I totally forgot I had a score.
But that's still
You're
6.
killing me.
That's
No,
no,
so
it's
I have a plus
4,
1.
5, 3
Yes,
is
7.
8. Okay.
7. 7, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm not going to mark that mask. Thank you
You're
for
not gonna mark
reminding
a
me,
mask.
Eirinar.
Okay, thank you. Because I
Wait,
was
does
like,
advantage
how?
does advantage not work how I think advantage works?
Advantage
No, I
is to
rolled...
keep the highest die, not add all 3 die. So,
So
2, 2,
that's
it was 2, 2, 1, which means you
oh,
keep
was it
the
2? I
highest.
thought it was 2, a 1, and a 1. That's where I
No.
messed up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, thank you, Eirinar. I totally went... I was a bimbo. Sorry. Well, am a bimbo. That's why. I forgot.
Okay, I didn't even mark it on like
No,
that
no.
list or whatever. So you're good.
Totally
But I mean, I think it's hilariously funny because I was immediately thinking like, it's like 2, 1, 2, and 1, like with the whole gun thing on the movie Clue.
Yeah.
Like how many bullets? Okay, great.
Yeah.
We're
I
good,
even get a
right? I mean, like
plus
7
1
to 9.
this because of the ritual chamber. So the fact that I totally forgot that. So yeah, so it's a 4 plus 4. So yeah, 8.
Okay, so you're still good. So there will be still a complication. Yeah. Okay. Eligos.
Yes.
So I can't hold you. I can't hold you, my good fellow. All I can tell you is that change is coming. Remember when we all danced in the fields and we had fun watching the mortals do their little, changes. And you would pull these little tricks on them all the time to see how they would change and adapt. Some adapted better than others. I'm just trying to bring about the time of changes again. When dreams could be real. For at least one night. Or do the humans call them nightmares? I forget.
I always find it sickening when you draw a line between me and them.
Why do you consider yourself part of them? Are you truly part of the changes now? Has it been so long since we've been there? Since we've been home?
Do you forget my father? Do you forget what blood was spilt when you dreamt me? Do you forget that you wove iron into my veins? I am as mortal as any.
I know that. As Elizabeth. No. Forgetting and remembering. It's all the same. It's all different. Victoria. Victoria is who you're hating at the moment. She is the one who tried to clad me in iron. I had to get away. I am away. And as you well know, I'm not one to live and let live. Why are you here, now that I think about it? These people seem to be taking care of whatever's here. Are you here to do the same thing? Are you working with the humans now? Are you now truly one of them? You serve one, just as you served us so very long ago.
Yes. Unlike you, I have changed. I'll turn and walk away.
She turns back to what's playing, supposedly on the stage below, but she will take glances up at the gods, at the two that are engaging with whatever they're engaging with. Where do you go?
It would take too long to go home, wouldn't it? I can't go with the gods. That's what she wants. Oh, what tangled webs we weave. Right to the gods, then.
Okay.
It's in order.
Okay. Night move. What do you think will go wrong?
It gets worse.
Well, we know that, but I mean, like, what specifically will go wrong?
Sorry, I was excited. The gods will break, and I and whoever else is up here will fall.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And in fact, I think as you fall to your very mortal death, if that's what's going to happen, I think you're going to see who replaced you.
Oof.
Night move with vitality.
No, I don't have. Wait,
Do you have
I think
any?
I have a +1 in that.
Do you have anything you want to add, like, well, I should say apply with your personal quarters item to give you advantage?
Let me see here. Let me check. I do have 1 in vitality. I will take Mildred's Blood Rose. Mark that to give myself advantage.
Okay.
One day I will use that real harpoon gun.
Okay, so
Of course, now I have a
3
target in mind.
3 die.
Oh,
Take
no,
the
I
2
did it.
highest,
Yes.
plus
Hang on, I gotta
your
figure it out.
vitality.
D20. That's a real D12. There we go.
3d6.
Pink and sparkly, like it deserves. Die. All right, that is a 6 out of 10 plus 1 is an 11.
Okay. All right.
I've been rolling very well this session.
Bump
It's
it
been
up.
beautiful.
I will bump it up. I'll mark a mask of the past.
So very, very hilarious. All right.
Actually,
Oops.
has comedy or tragedy been marked?
No. This would be your last opportunity to get it.
In that case, may as well.
Okay. So which
Sorry,
one?
everybody, we've got more masks.
Okay. Comedy or tragedy? You have to pick one.
God damn it.
Sorry.
It's such a good tragedy, too. Let's do tragedy.
Okay. So everybody gets tragedy to add to the list. Let's see. Did I put it there? Yes. So, tragedy. Each hunter narrates a time something awful happened as a direct result of their failure. Okay. All right. We will see the success of your 12 plus in a sec. All right. Unseen. Yes, we're still doing them. Sorry. Eirinar. A well-dressed toff enters the pub, clearly cruising for trade. Which eager lads compete, good-naturedly or otherwise, for his attention, and who just scoffs at him?
I'm going to say there's like 3, 4 lads who are all like dressed in these bright, cheery, almost nymph-like, fairy-like colors, attractive, very eye-catchy, uh, with maybe even some like similarly attractive makeup done on them, who just immediately sort of flock to the door and then start addressing the man and asking him if he would be interested in their company for the night and such. And like it feels very much like they're playing into their sort of tropes of being those eager and sprightly fairies. And then there is another uh, another person who is kind of more not in the corner, very much placed in a visible position from the door, who kind of who looks like he's dressed in darker clothing, almost like almost quote unquote emo, and he's sort of more like black cloak and dark hair and just sort of sunken eyes, and he's going to just sort of look at the man and very distinctly catch his eye and then just scoff and then turn away.
Okay. All right. Sorry, got to mark that. I got to add that to the John Guardian. All right. So let's go back to Smoke. All right, you got a 7 on your investigate. I think you don't see him with the gun because I think you're busy looking around, and I think you catch... I'm going to give you the clue first, and then we're going to talk about the complication. I think you see among the mess around here, I think you see, like off away from the bed, you see covered half by a cloth, tarp, whatever, you see what looks like chemistry equipment, like a portable chemist's kit. Some tubes, maybe what looks like a, this period's Bunsen burner, that sort of thing. Half covered over by a tarp. So that is your clue that you see. And then get a little distracted because the naked person on the bed sachets out from under the covers and will kind of block your view because they are getting in front of the kit and then going to the window and saying, Winsley, I want to go out. I want to go out and drink. Do we have to stay here and then talk to this person? Ugh. And Winsley will respond, well, I mean, if Smoke over here wants to be kind of neighborly and give us a little tour of the place, then I guess we can go out. But I mean, aside from that, we look like we're kind of staying in for the bit, darling. What do you do, Smoke?
What does this person look like? This collar that this one has late at night.
Sorry, Ben, I forgot your description. I just remembered the
Yeah,
fairy wings and naked.
yeah, basically it's a naked young lad with little like stringed on fairy wings and maybe like a stencil on his his one cheek of his ass that says Faerie Boi on it. But
Yeah, great. That's fun. So, I am going to avert my eyes from the whatever is on his butt, and I'm going to look Taggart sort of in the eye and say, "You and your I don't care what you and your lovers do, but you will leave me alone." And then I'm going to is either of them holding a weapon again at this point?
I mean, Taggart's still got the straight razor that he, closed. But that kind of counts as a weapon. And you don't know what he's got tucked behind him in his drawers. So.
I am going to sort of play with my weapon a little more as I just sort of turn around and I wonder if I should go to the hotel this thing, but I think I'm gonna turn around and then slam the door closed and see if I can mess up the locking mechanism as I do so, in any way possible. I just want to give this man as much pain as possible. So can I potentially jam the door in an uncomfortable way?
Night move.
Okay, with so I am what am I afraid of? Pretty much the hotel people coming for me, which I know they are anyway, but
Right.
I mean, I don't think they'll take very kindly to me messing up their equipment.
No, they won't. In fact, you'll be banned from the hotel.
That's fun. I am going to vitality, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do something useful with my Yeah, okay. I'm gonna maybe sort of as I do this try to use my hunting knife actually and sort of use it to sort of wedge the mechanism and slam it and maybe try to mess something up in that process.
All right. Go for it.
Okay, that's a 5 and a 2 and a 6. Okay, 11 plus 1, I think. Yep, that's a 12.
Okay. All right. I think you're able to do it, for sure. And then I think you're able to maneuver down a different side staircase that you're able to get out before what you hear is hurrying steps of not only the hotel manager but probably some of the stock stewards of the hotel, like the big male burly stewards, basically coming to come and grab you for causing a ruckus. Yep. All right, let's go to Oda. All right, so Still need that added to the drowned guardian of the docks threat list for clues for the scrapbook. What else do you do here?
Oh, I was thinking of marking my last reflection. Scar my reflection for the last time and invite Mildred to see my garden. But that might be too much time for this session.
Hold on a second. Okay, so let's see. Oh, jeez. Oh my. Yeah, I mean, like it wouldn't be now.
Yeah.
It would be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just get a glimpse of, the last glimpse of for the evening of a number of helpers, let's just say, in the evening in the Hargrave House kitchen, and Lord Oda's there in a chef's outfit, and there's like a distinct scent of like marine, like ocean drying in the air, and he's looking around, he's perusing the scene, and there's something boiling soup. There's another starting the oven, and he says, "Oh, we're gonna have a wonderful fish for the breakfast in the morning. I'm sure that Mildred would love it. We got quite a catch, didn't we?" And the camera tilts down, and we see that the bloody figure of the drowned guardian, not the drowned guardian, the creature of Cremorne Gardens is there being prepared for a morning meal at Hargrave House.
Oh, if I could, if I could make you scar your reflection 5 times more, I would. God
can
damn.
I scar my reflection?
You totally need to scar your reflection on that one.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I'm gonna say it. Fuck. Oh my god. Yes, scar your reflection for the last time, and then if there's time, great. If not, this is definitely opening up like the next session. Shit. All right. Okay.
Doesn't that retire the character? Like, if effectively after like a scene?
If
no, both ways, right? There's
Yes.
Both the conditions are retire the character.
yes,
Ah.
is that what you want?
Yes.
Interesting. Interesting. I love the wrenches that are being thrown in my direction. I will so take revenge. Okay. Anyway.
What a wrench to throw, truly.
What a wrench to throw.
We joked
yes.
about this so hard.
I mean,
here it is.
Yeah, we've been saying this since session 1 because I think he ran through like 4 masks in one session.
I mean, I let this go too long, and I apologize, because what's going to end up happening is that we're going to completely miss out on finishing Night Phase, which is amazing. I'm just like, wow, what the fuck did I do?
You can go to the Unscene. It's fine. I'm done with that scene. That's fine.
Well, I know, but I still have Mildred and Eligos. You know what? Actually, no. You know what? I'm gonna go.
Quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I feel like we've
the Wraith.
resolved everything that matters.
Yeah,
Okay.
we just need to kill the Wraith.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, a thing that is going to happen whether I'm involved or not. And Mildred
Right.
already did her ritual successfully.
Yes. So, Mildred, go ahead and say how you do this.
So, as she's banging every bell ringing that's rung is punctuated with a sort of brief flashback of Mildred mourning over the body of the creature on the beach, and then following that, preparing it as best she can, laying a little sprig of lavender into its claws, and then carrying the body as best she can out to the beach so that it can be properly disposed of. But apparently she didn't do a good enough job of that. She's not very physically strong. but her attempt at trying to set the body out to sea is unfortunately a little feeble, but she does it anyway. But it flashes. It kind of fuels her, galvanizes her, and with the last bell rung, there's this kind of crescendo at the theater, the Palais de Gaiety. The orchestra sort of swells up, and in the middle of Billy Bowman's performance, or Lady Pipewell's performance, we see as the audience starts to scream and holler as this apparition begins to form on stage of this older man. And we see immediately after this ethereal form appears that the nervous system and the veins and the heart and the organs and the bones and the muscle all start to suddenly form around or within the encasement of this ethereal form before the ethereal shell itself becomes flesh and covers it. And so we just see this naked playwright on stage standing behind Lady Pipewell, and he looks around not knowing or understanding what's happening, but there it is, the playwright, the West End Wraith made flesh.
Eligos, upon seeing this, what do you do?
I mean, before that, what does the Royal Explorers Society do?
I mean, they are, again, they were engaged with something up in the gods, and like, you can see the figures moving, and then they were
Was that
fighting
not the
something.
Wraith?
You see something materialize on stage, and everybody is like very, ooh, that's new, and like, what's that? And so everybody's oohing and eyeing over this wraith that has appeared, like, in flesh form on the stage. And you see Turing and Evelyn dealing with something up in the gods. What do you do? If you look down, it's like you're going to see, Titania's face, and she's grinning at you.
Yes. Oh, of course. Well, I'm already on my way up to the gods. But my plan currently is to do a sick trick shot, grab the knife, and land it between the naked man's eyes. But we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have you just do the roll. Go ahead. This is...
All right. What can I
roll
mark?
with vitality.
Yes, it is. Oh, do I get advantage for this being a direct order from Mildred?
I would say so, right? I mean, it's part of the employer thing.
Yeah.
So
I already have advantage.
okay, yeah.
I get advantage for acting to protect my employer, but whatever.
Get double advantage. Pew, pew.
I don't think that's a thing.
No.
It is now.
I
Let's
only
just
get
get
one
crazy.
advantage.
Just go.
Let's just get crazy.
Yeah.
Die. All right, that is an 8 on the dice.
I think you do the trick shot, and you're able to get the shot killing that thing on the stage dead. And again, everybody's like gasping and like, oohing and eyeing, and then they're actually clapping. They're thinking that this is part of the show, and then Lady Pipewell and then the others are like agog. Like, they don't know how to react. And then, of course, they follow their training, and then they start to bow. Like it's the end of the show. And, they look confused, but they're going to be bowing anyway. And then they'll be, like, giving you applause as well. Like, they're going to, like, motion that, like, like up in the gods, it's like, like the applause. And then, like, somebody swings, like, a spotlight or whatever in your direction. And then in, like, in Evelyn and Turing's direction as well. They've kind of finished doing what they were doing. And then they're kind of looking at you a little confused as well. And I'm going to say we're just going to float to the last Unscene real quick. Just to finish it off. Jack As last orders are called and people start to file out of the pub, how do we see Polly looking after her customers with words or action where needed?
Since this was a particular festive evening, we see that Polly has put out a bucket of soap and water with a couple rags. And as some of the men who are painting themselves in these pigments and these powders, as they start to sort of drunkenly begin to head for the door, Polly ushers them, commands them really to come to the bar, and she hands them a rag with the soapy dishwater, not soapy dishwater, but soapy water. And they know that, and they share this look of sort of regret between Polly, and she shares it back with them. She hates that she has to force them to not be as festive as they want to, but this is London at night, and the streets can be dangerous for people like them. And so they dutifully and obediently rubs at whatever makeup they were wearing off. And then those who were not wearing makeup but are just sort of like a little bit too trashed, she gives them a shot of coffee and sets them on their way.
Okay. All right. Epilogue for everyone. Like 1 or 2 lines about where you are now after you have finished your night work. Smoke?
Smoke is sitting in the room, I think, just sort of poring over the book of porcupines and hedgehogs and using the what's it called, the letter they got from like their parents or whatever as a sort of like as a sort of bookmark as they flip through it with a frown on their face, just chilling sort of.
Lord Oda.
I think that Lord Oda is had a long day and is currently in his garden preparing it for Mildred's visit, preparing in the only ways that she would truly appreciate.
Mildred.
After she finishes the ritual, she knows that it's successful. And it's at that moment where she just lets everything out, everything that's been building up and everything that needed to be released is released in this dark room that's sequestered away from London, from Hargrave House, from any other hunters. She just lays there naked on the floor sobbing. But we cut to her coming out of the wardrobe, dressed, buttoning up, and putting herself together, putting her hair back, and she goes into another closet of hers and begins to dig out some gardening tools. And even though it's at night, the only thing that really gives her true peace is tending to her flowers. And so she takes the garden pail, the shovel, and some seeds in a watering can and begins to head down to the ravaged garden and begins to set work on rebuilding.
I think you'll find that someone is there, their jacket off, and their sleeves rolled up. And he is kneeling there waiting for you to help you with your garden. Eligos.
Yes.
Where do we find you at the end of this night's work?
I mean, I still have questions. I assume Turing and Evelyn are gone, just gone.
Yeah.
Well, then I will
after
head
the show
home
is
as
ended.
quickly as I can.
Yeah.
Take a carriage, order him to step on it, and I will find Lady Mildred tending to her garden and just sort of wordlessly get down and start helping.
You see Kemuel there helping.
Oh, then I fucking punch him in the face. Kemuel's the Royal Explorer guy, right?
Mm,
No, which one's Kemuel?
well, Lady Sojourn is the explorer.
Yes.
Evelyn's the vessel. Turing is, of course, the factotum. And Kemuel is undeniable.
Oh yeah, no, I pick up the trowel and just deck him in the fucking face.
Yeah.
He just like kind of maneuvers his beautiful chin a little bit and smiles at you and continues to help with the digging and retending the garden. And yeah, we're gonna go right to Dawn. Where's Dawn? Okay, so let's go to the Dawn questions quickly. Come on, where are we? Holy crap. Okay. American. Smoke. You answered a question. You resolved a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night? I think I heard one. I'm pretty sure I heard one.
Yep, I did.
Do you stick out in London society for all the wrong reasons? Hell yeah, I think. Did you use violence to solve a problem? Yes. Take 5 points.
I was so excited about violence.
Yes.
Who, me? Yes, obviously. Violence is
Eligos.
the solution to everything.
Yes.
Eligos, you answered a question, resolved a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
I didn't get a night phase. Probably.
If anyone remembers that him getting an echo in the night, please let us know. Did you have a scene showing your secret private life in London?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Okay, no, I will take it. Did you demonstrate obsequious?
Did you get all up in business that is specifically mine and it's specifically secret? Yes.
Yes. Okay. Did you demonstrate obsequious behavior towards your employer in front of others? Yeah, I'm gonna say so.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. So take all those points. Undeniable. Answered a question, resolved a threat. Echo in the night. Pretty sure I heard it. Did you secretly show a vulnerable side to someone?
No.
No. Did you express clear preference for the beautiful over the mundane? I'm gonna say yes.
That's maybe. I'm not sure when.
No,
But
no, at the freaking opium den, man. You not only fluffed off a jetty, but I mean, you also took this man in the sun mask and gave him a
I
shrug.
did take the mask. Gosh.
Goddamn. All right, so basically you get 4 points today. Mildred answered a question, resolved a threat. Echo in the night, yes, for sure. Face-to-face encounter with a dark entity, yeah, because you got taken over.
I mean, I was possessed, yeah. So I don't know if that's face to face, but I was, possessed.
There were faces
Face
involved.
of face, yeah.
Yeah.
Face of face.
Face on face.
Face in face, yeah. Just
God damn it, yeah. Did you counsel somebody using your supernatural affinities on the basis for that advice? I don't think so.
In the morning with the creature.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll give it to
We
you.
had a nice little time.
5 points. God damn it. That more. Yeah. So pissed. Okay. All right. So, we've got all these wonderful masks. I will update the list in the chat. Let's have time for stars and wishes, and then tack on these masks for next time too. God damn. Stars, wishes, anything, anybody? My God.
I mean, stars to our illustrious GM Mads for every side character. It was so perfect. We did not talk about anything in that scene beforehand, but I think we had everyone fooled. So, stars for that. Stars to Jack for fucking everything you did. This session was great, but especially that scene between us when you ordered me to go to the place. And Ben, stars for killing yourself finally, and for every side character, every detail you introduced was just so interesting today with Faerie Boi, all of that. Each and every single one of them was great. Oh, and stars to Eirinar for once again you using a hammer to beat in some nails. I love a good, simple and violent time. I loved everything that happened in that hotel room.
Yeah, stars for Mads for really good as far as like being able to bounce back and forth. I think the words, the cuts were nice. Way that you handled them, and dealing with this clearly completely not chaotic group whatsoever. Completely under your thumb, no issues there. So good luck with next week. Yeah, stars for Eligos. Really didn't see that coming. And yes, you were right. I thought that was pre-planned, which I was like, this doesn't seem right. But knowing that it wasn't pre-planned makes me feel both better and worse, because now I'm like, oh no, what's this mean? Then I love Faerie Boi, and I want you to write another threat, and they need to be a side character in it. That's all I'm saying. Oda's cruelty is exceptional. I, as Jack, am a fan. I'm rooting for him. Mildred, of course, if she were a lesser composed woman, would want to tear him limb from limb, send him to a hell dimension, but I don't think she's going to do that. And Eirinar, I really like that scene in the hotel room, this sort of weird, awkward meeting that you and Taggart and Faerie Boi had. It wasn't what I was expecting, but and I don't think it was what you were expecting either, but you rolled with it, and so star for that. Wish it. Now that I've got enough masks to start narrating more of the backstory, I think there may be an appearance by a certain coven soon. So get ready for that. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing what Ben is going to do after Lord Oda. And yeah, just looking forward to more.
Yeah. Oh my God, the Lord Oda. I was not keeping track of the reflections. I was like, it has to end at some point, and then I did. I was like, wait, both of these. Yeah. I have no idea what's going to happen. I am so excited to see how we yeah, the Lord Oda scene. And also I really did like the Mildred and Lord Oda scene in the morning. Also the Mildred and the Damon scene. I mean, I wasn't there last time it was narrated, so yeah, and the whole Eligos, the backstory, and yeah, you had me fooled. I thought, oh yeah, this is something they discussed beforehand, and it's definitely shocking us, but apparently it was shocking everyone. So yeah, no, I mean, yeah, just I am just so excited to see all this stuff that's unfolding. I also only have 3 masks left that are not the blood soaked portal, so this should go interestingly. I can see Mads dying already. But yeah, let's see how this goes.
Yeah, this was a great session. I loved how shocked Smoke was in the in the hotel. I'm just like, what do I do with this situation? I loved finding out more about Eligos, and I've just been continually surprised. Mildred's descriptions, like I just feel like I get to know her better each time. I love that she was very aggressive in the morning. Well, morning, I mean, after dusk. In when she pinned him against the wall. I thought everyone's gay scenes in the bar were very tender. What else? Mads, I'm looking forward to the scene, because like Lord Oda is definitely going to choose to go with the mastermind. He's not going to be apologetic for anything. Right. So I'm looking like, so like the mastermind, I mean, the keeper's in charge of like narrating how the mastermind takes that character as a servant. Right. So I'm looking forward to how you do that.
I love the fact that when you guys give me some stuff, I'm able to like take it, roll it, and pitch it right back. Because that thing with Faerie Boi was perfect, and I was going to do something violent, but I was just like, you know what? Faerie Boi is perfect. That is the perfect way to have smoke enter the room, and the reason why Taggart is not going to answer. So that was brilliant. Thank you very much for giving me that. And again, I appreciate you all for giving me information that I can use. And I mean, everybody's narrations, masks, actions today. I enjoyed it all. I really did. I mean, I'm pissed off as hell at Lord Oda. God. Oh my God. It's like, I mean, this is probably the first time that I've seen like an undeniable really want to die. Just like, get the hell out. Okay, great. I know it's it's player driven, but still, it's just kind of like, holy shit. We're at this point already. But yeah, I mean, as obnoxious as he is, I will miss him. Oh God.
We're running up against it. I
Yeah.
think this campaign might end soon.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird.
because
It's very
Not
strange.
too soon, but like
Well, you
I don't
guys
think
keep
we have
on
another
bumping
10
up shit, and like
I don't think we have
rolling
another 10
well.
sessions in us.
That's
I think
true.
we're just moving too fast, too hard.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
I'm
again,
loving every minute of
yeah.
it.
no, it's a wild ride, but I mean, like this ride is gonna come to end fairly soon. I mean, like I haven't even given you 2 more mastermind clues, which you've earned through your rolls or bump ups, and you guys owe me so many masks. And then Lord Oda's got that big ass scene with Mildred, whether he, or most likely will not be forgiven, but just, will work for the mastermind. So this will be fun and interesting. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. So, I mean, again, I appreciate like all the chaos. I think I live off of it. So, thank you guys very much for dealing with, all this. So I think I'm just as good at giving chaos, just as good as you guys are throwing it at me. So I think it's an even trade. And if you don't think so, that's fine too. Just let me know. Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed this session just because of like the mayhem that was created. So if you have any like wishes, and you don't want to necessarily make them known like as a group, that's perfectly fine. You can DM me. Please do. I mean, I'd like to hear your ideas if you have things that you want to see, because as Chris said, I mean, like, it just seems like we're going really fast, but not really, but we are, but not. Just a weird back and forth here, so I'm not sure what's happening right now.
Well, another wish, now that I know that we've got 2 mastermind clues owed to us, that means it's 10, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to
15
what
is like
happens.
15 is the big one, right? I mean, because yeah.
Is it
But
10 or
then
15?
is
I thought it was
15 is
15.
the big 15 is the big one.
Yeah.
10 is something happens. 10 is one of the threshold.
We hit another layer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
yeah.
looking forward to
I
seeing
feel
what that
like
is. Oh yeah, 15 is the big one, but 10 I think is when the mastermind can come and directly fuck with us.
Yeah, say hello, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
And I do have.
Which
I
I
do
feel
have.
like the mastermind's been saying hello since like session 3.
Maybe,
That
maybe
shit
not. Not sure.
Shit's
I mean,
changed.
apparently you've known the mastermind since session like minus
Yeah,
God knows
apparently.
what. So
Yeah.
Well, it's not that the mastermind says hello; it's that they can take direct action against Hargrave House or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So it's like an assault essentially. Like that's when they show their hand, I guess. And
Yeah, they really push
All
for
right.
it, I think.
Okay, so I just have like one little stinger thing, and you may consider this completely unfair. I don't know yet. I'm not sure how this is handled, and I'm probably doing it wrong, but that's how I've been running for the past 9 episodes. So, quick stinger scene. It's the theater. Everybody's gone. And you have... Well, you see a small spotlight on the stage. And in the private box, there is a burgundy hooded figure that is clapping. And whom appears underneath the spotlight is Lily DeVere. She comes under the spotlight, takes a deep curtsy and a bow, and takes something that she had behind her back and flings it over her shoulders. It is a black cape with a red lining. And she declaims to the person that's up in the box, "I hope you were pleased by my performance, Your Majesty. It was for you." And she takes another deep curtsy and she leaves the stage. The spotlight clicks off. And there in the box, camera pans to Titania, the back of her hood, and you see it's trembling, but it's not trembling with fear or any other emotion except for humor, because you start to hear the laughter. So soon! So soon. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.
You're
This
sitting
is
pretty.
not a contest. This is not a contest to see who can blow through the masks fastest. Please, please.
I will mark 2.
Bad enough. It's bad enough that you guys have like already gotten halfway through the Mastermind Clues. I'm just like, God damn it! I don't
What
want
if
to.
we
mark
just
3 more?
TPK ourselves?
No.
Yeah, 'cause
she won't allow
if
that.
Mildred goes, I go. So
Yes. Yes, she does.
I'm going to mark the blood-soaked portal.
And Oda and I are already halfway there, so it's fine, you know.
You're trying to implode this campaign. I can tell already.